That's right, 2018 is over. A full year of movies have been and gone. It's now the start of 2019, I think 2 days in, and now it is time to drop my best of the year. Now, I am doing a list of 10 of my favourite movies from last year. Now, before we get into rucks, this isn't necessarily the best movies. This is my favourite movies, and I have not seen every single movie. I'm not even a big reviewer. I'm not going to see everything. I saw a lot, but I'm not going to see everything. There's of course going to be some movies that I have not seen. A big one being A Star Is Born, so don't at me. And I've also, if you want to hear extended thoughts on every single one of these movies, you can check it out on my channel. The rest of the reviews are there for every single movie I've mentioned on this list is a full review. So if you want to hear me talk about it, go and find it there. But we actually have 10 movies that made my best of 2018 list. We also have some honorable mentions that I'm about to get into now. Now, 2 quick honorable mentions that actually are 2017 films that didn't come out to 2018 in Australia: Molly's Game and 3 Billboards. Both these movies are phenomenal, and both would definitely be on this year's list if I counted them, but I'm not going to. That is why they're not on here. We also have a couple more honorable mentions. Deadpool 2. This movie was hilarious, but just didn't make the cut. Ready Player One was fantastic, almost did it. Sicario 2 was a phenomenal showcase of action. And Hereditary, although I don't have a review of this one because I only just saw this last night, it didn't make the cut, but what a horror movie it was. Alright, but let's get into the top 10, of course, starting with number 10, Black Panther. Now, this movie is pretty damn good. I think people forget how good it is because of this controversy when it comes to Oscars, when it comes to should it be up there. People forget how good this movie really was. Now, it's probably overrated because there are people that talk about it like it's the best movie of the year. I think that's why it's getting some flack. But honestly, this movie is fucking awesome. It is visually stunning. The action is amazing. And Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is one of the best villains of the year, and if it wasn't for another Marvel villain, he probably would be the best villain of the year. Moving on to number 9, we have Creed 2. Back-to-back movies, we got Creed in here. Adonis Creed himself, Michael B. Jordan, he's back-to-back on my list, but this movie was pretty damn good, especially for a sequel of another, of a sequel franchise. It was pretty awesome. It delivered. It kind of put a new touch on it, even though it's very close to the first Creed. They still managed to make it feel new. They managed to deliver a great movie that is very enjoyable and, just as good as the majority of the Rocky movies. Coming in at number 8, we have Searching. Now, Searching was a phenomenal movie. This is something so original, and that's why it is on my list. I love when a movie is just so awesome and so new, and you can bring something completely different to the screen that people haven't really seen before, and I think that's what this movie did. It absolutely kills it. John Cho was amazing. This movie is just so good, so compelling, you want to see more, and the way they've done it is just, the craft of this movie is absolutely superb. Coming in at number 7, we have Mission Impossible Fallout. Now, for the 6th movie in a franchise, this is fucking amazing. I think this would definitely be higher on my list, and I know it's higher on a lot of people's list if, 1, I was more of a Mission Impossible fan, or 2, I was more of an action fan, but I'm really not a crazy fan of either. But this movie is so hard to ignore. This was amazing. This is honestly how action should be. It's so well filmed, so well done. The craft of this film is phenomenal, and it somehow keeps getting better with this franchise. 5 and 6 are my favourite movies of the whole 6 movie franchise. For that, I don't even know how you did that, so well done. Coming in at number 6, we have Bohemian Rhapsody. This movie is phenomenal. This movie was a lot of fun. The music was great. The acting was great. And Rami Malek probably should get an Oscar for this, and I'd be shocked if he doesn't. He was so damn good. He held this movie to himself. This is just such a great, fun movie to watch. Whether you're a Queen fan or you're not, I think you can get something out of this. I think you'll definitely become more of a Queen fan after watching this film. But God, this was such a great movie. And yeah, I truly believe this should be one of the go-to Oscar nominations when it comes to leading actor. Moving on to the top 5, we're halfway there. Number 5, we have Incredibles 2. I'm actually shocked I put this movie at 5. I expected to have this movie higher up, but some things got moved around. This movie still sounds so damn good. I literally just got the steelbook for the movie today before filming. Again, when you can have a sequel so far away from each other and make them just as good as each other, that's such a feat. I think this is exactly what every single Incredibles fan wanted as a sequel, and even if you're not an Incredibles fan and you haven't seen the original or you were born well later and you're growing up with number 2, I think you're going to be such a fan of the franchise. This movie does everything it needs to do. It is hilarious. It looks stunning. It's just so damn good, and the second best animation of the year. Moving on to number 4, a movie that I fucking loved. Number 4, Love, Simon. This movie was great. It hit me on a very emotional level. You know, not done because, you know, this is, you know, I feel with it, but when a lot of these movies could be changed around, I think, when it comes to craft or when it comes to being the truly best movie. But when you can actually get me, you know, feeling invested in something like this, I think that's a great thing. This movie was funny, it was heartfelt, it was so well done. This movie's just so much fun. I definitely recommend anyone that hasn't seen it to go out and see it. This was, I think, second or third pretty much of the entire year until someone moved it down to 4th. But, you know, god damn, this movie's a lot of fun, and I do recommend you go and watch it if you haven't. I've already gone back and watched it when I blew it on Blu-ray pretty quickly, but definitely well worth being on the number 4 spot. Moving on to number 3, we have A Quiet Place. Now, what a fucking film this was. I was absolutely in awe of this movie. This movie's so well done. It's just a masterclass in storytelling, to not use words the way they did, to not use sound, and the atmosphere you get of watching this film is something, you know, very, very hard to get, and they killed it. It's such a great horror film as well. It's scary. It's pretty much everything you'd want it to be. John Krasinski absolutely pulls it off, whether it's directing or acting. He kills it, as well as Emily Blunt was great in the leading role, the leading female role. So that this movie is definitely up there. And I tell you what, there's 2 Marvel films in front of it, and if Marvel didn't exist, you're hitting this number 1 spot, A Quiet Place. Coming in number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I did not expect this to have actually second best on my list. I heard it might be the best movie of the year. Didn't expect to actually put it up with the second best movie. This movie was so much fun. It was so well done. I mean, again, when you can do something so original, you get something new, and especially something that's already been done in a Spider-Man film and you make it your own, is absolutely phenomenal. This movie's hilarious. The action's cool. It's just so much fun to watch, and visually, everything they did with it was amazing. And honestly, this is probably the funniest movie of the year. I can't wait to re-watch it. One of those movies that I'm pretty hyped on because it only just came out a few weeks ago, so maybe it's a bit higher up, but I think it deserves this spot, and unfortunately just misses out on number 1, but you can't claim number 2. Moving on to the best movie of 2018, and it was clear as day for me the entire year. There was no doubt after I walked out of that cinema that number 1 would be Avengers Infinity War. I mean, what else can you ask being a fan of movies, a fan of superheroes, a fan of Marvel? This was fucking phenomenal. It was hilarious, great action, great storytelling, and fucking hell, we're always wanting more. We thought this would be it. We thought this is it. This is the compilation of everything we wanted, and then they're going to hit us with Avengers Endgame next year, which will probably be my number 1 next year, unless it's disappointing. But goddamn, this movie is so fucking good. Again, I could talk about it forever, and I did. I talked about it for 13 minutes in my review, so you can go back and watch that if you want to hear more. But this movie is so much fun. It's so well done. I think people forget how good the craft is in this movie. The cinematography, the score, the writing, everything's so damn good, and this is a well-deserving number 1. Thank you guys for watching my list of 2018's best movies. Honestly, this year wasn't as deep as other years, but I did give out 5 A's. I only gave out 3 for this time last year, so that's kind of a bigger jump, as well as 6 A's if you count 2017's 3 Billboards. But this has, you know, been a great year of movies, even though there has been some disappointments. I think, you know, I think last year was such a high year. We can't really complain when I gave out more A's this year. There were some great films in there, as I just said. And obviously the rating, just because I give you an A doesn't mean you're going to be in front of B pluses. I think emotional level and emotional investment's going to be there as well, no matter how good your craft is. If I'm not quite as there as some other films. That's going to be why. But thank you guys for watching my list. Let me know what your favorite movie was. Let me know what your list was. Whatever you want to talk about below, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty of Blu-ray stuff coming up next year. This year, I should say now, 2019 is the year of the Blu-ray. Let it be known. I've got a channel update coming up very, very soon to explain it all. But thank you guys for watching, of course. Have a good one.